You ever have one of those trades where you follow your checklist to a T, you check all the boxes, and the market just does the exact opposite of what you expected? Yeah, it's super frustrating and we've all been there. The thing is, most of those checklists, they're just asking the wrong questions. So today, we're going to build a new one, a professional's checklist, based on a framework that actually lets you see what the market is trying to do right now. Okay, let's jump in.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at why those basic checklists so often let us down. Then, I'll introduce you to a whole new way of looking at the market, something called market profile. We'll break down how to actually read its story. And from there, we'll build out a brand new 5-step checklist. And finally, we'll talk about how this completely reframes the way you'll see trading from here on out.
All right, let's kick things off with something I know you've probably felt before. It's that nagging doubt, right? Even when you follow all your rules, it feels like the market has a secret that you're just not in on. That's the trader's dilemma. You're staring at the chart, but you're not really seeing the story.
And I really want you to stop and ask yourself this. Does your current process feel like you're just reacting to little wiggles on a price chart? Or do you actually feel like you understand the battle that's playing out between the buyers and the sellers? Because trust me, that difference is absolutely everything. I mean, just look at some of these common checklist items. Are we in an uptrend? Is there a pattern? Did some news just hit? These aren't necessarily bad questions to ask. But here's the problem. They're all looking in the rearview mirror. They tell you what has happened. They don't tell you what's happening now. And they completely fail to answer the most important question of all. Who is in control of the market right this second?
So to answer that question, we need a different kind of tool. And that brings us to the solution, market profile. Now, I want to be really clear here. This is not just another indicator you slap onto your chart. It's a totally different way of organizing the data to see what's really going on under the surface.
So what is this thing? At its core, market profile just organizes the chaos. It takes all that messy price action and structures it into this simple bell-shaped curve. And what this does is it reveals the market for what it truly is, a constant two-way auction between buyers and sellers, always searching for a price they can agree on.
And that, right there, is the key. Unlike so many other tools that are lagging, that tell you about the past, the whole point of Market Profile is to give you real-time, actionable information. It's all about understanding what's happening in the present moment so you can make a much better decision about what might happen next.
Okay, so we've got this new tool, this new structure. But how in the world do you actually read it? Well, you can think of it like learning to read the story of the day's battle. Every little shape and bulge in that profile is a clue, telling you who's winning the fight.
Now, the absolute heart of every single profile is something called the value area. This is basically the market's comfort zone for that day. It's the price range where roughly 70% of the business got done, where buyers and sellers were happiest to trade. This is what the market considered fair value. And where this comfort zone forms and how it moves day to day tells you so much about what's really going on.
And you know, all this analysis, looking at the shape, finding the value area, it all boils down to answering one single powerful question. At this very moment, who is in control of the auction, the buyers or the sellers?
To figure that out, we look for two very different kinds of behavior. On one side, you have initiative activity. This is aggression. This is buyers not waiting for a pullback. They're actively pushing prices above that agreed-upon value area. That screams strength. On the other side, you have responsive activity. This is more passive. It's buyers waiting for the price to drop below value before they step in. One shows conviction, the other shows caution. Seeing who is taking the initiative is how you know who's really in charge.
Okay, so we've got the building blocks, right? We understand the market is an auction. We know about the value area, and we know the difference between aggressive initiative action and passive responsive action. Now, let's put it all together. This is the actionable framework you've been waiting for.
Here it is, your new 5-step checklist. Step 1, the big picture. First, you gotta zoom out. Are the recent profiles long and skinny? That tells you you're in a trend. Or are they wide and overlapping? That means you're in a balanced range-bound market. This context is everything. Step 2, check the open. This is so important. Where did today's session open compared to yesterday's value area, its comfort zone? If it opens outside of that zone, that is a massive red flag that something has changed and the market is out of balance. Step 3, identify control. Now we hunt for that initiative we talked about. Are buyers aggressively pushing to new highs, extending the range? That's initiative. Are you seeing long wicks or tails at the bottom of the profile? That shows strong buyers rejecting lower prices. These are your clues. Step 4. Map key levels. Now you look for the fat parts of the profile. Those are high-volume areas that will probably act as support or resistance. And just as important, you look for the skinny parts, the low-volume areas where price can just slice right through. This is your roadmap for the day. And finally, step 5, form your bias. You take all these pieces, the context, the open, who's in control, and your key levels, and you put them together to form an evidence-based opinion on what the market is trying to do. It's not a static checklist. It's a living, breathing framework for seeing the market clearly.
You know, when you start using a checklist like this, something really cool happens. It's not just about finding better entries or exits, it fundamentally changes your entire perspective. You'll stop just watching a price chart and start seeing the actual auction taking place.
And if you remember only one thing from all of this, let it be this. We are not trying to predict the future. We're not crystal ball gazers. The goal is to become an expert of the now. Market Profile gives you an X-ray into the market's current structure, telling you who's in control and where the market sees fair value. And that clarity, that understanding of the present moment, that is the most powerful edge any trader can have.
So, I'll leave you with this question. The next time you pull up a chart, ask yourself, am I just watching prices go up and down, or am I actually reading the story that the market is telling me? Because making that shift from a watcher to a reader, that's the shift from an amateur to a professional.